Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, we are a minimalist family of 7, living big with less, and a couple of weeks ago we asked you to send us all of your questions about what you want to know, and we would love to answer them all for you today.
Right now.
Most of them are about minimalism and finance, which is great because that's what our channel is about. So let's get started.
So first up, we're going to go to Facebook.
Yeah.
We've got a couple there, some good ones just to quickly start off.
Yeah.
First question, who's your favorite sister?
This is an actual question from my sister. So the question is, I love you all the same. So unless you come and babysit my kids. What about you?
Me? Well, I think it's a close tie.
That's such a cop-out because he has 2 sisters, but that's fine.
Next one, can I come live with you?
Kath, yeah, for shiz. If we had another adult, that would be awesome.
But hang on, let's remember we've got 7 people here.
Yeah.
It's might be a bit crowded.
But it's going to be loud and it's going to be chaos. But you're welcome anytime, Kath.
Okay, that was Facebook. We're moving on to Instagram now.
Guys, if you don't follow us on Instagram, please follow us because on Instagram we can follow you back. So it works out really great. Unlike Facebook because it's an actual page, but follow me on Instagram and let's follow each other.
Okay, first up on Instagram, we have this question. When did you decide to remove the TV from the main living space and relocate it to the bedroom? I really like this idea. Was this a decision you made before starting your family, or was there a moment that made you realize a location change would be beneficial? So
this is a great question. Moving the TV to our lounge room was like my favorite thing about this house.
I would actually say we made the decision before we moved in.
Yeah, even before we knew we were going to move into this house. Before this, we stayed with Caleb's mum and dad for a little while.
In
we
one
had
bedroom.
A TV in there. We really liked it. So when we moved into this house, we were like, yes, let us just get rid of that out of the lounge room. And we will, I think, unless something massive changes, we'll keep doing that from now on.
Yep. Next one, 2 questions. First, how do you deal with photos from your childhood that are actual prints and not digital? Second, what about papers like utility bills, life insurance, banking, tax stuff that you have to keep for a few years?
This is such a great question, and paper issues have come up many times on heaps of different videos. So I actually have a video all about paper clutter that I'm going to release hopefully next week, if not the beginning of the week after. So I can't wait to answer all those questions for you. But a little teaser for you, particularly about paper, is try and reduce as much as you can coming in. So if you can get it on email, anything that you can keep digital, that's the way to go. The rest, you have to wait and see.
Next, how do you show the benefits of minimalism and a plant-based diet to your kids? They must have friends with different lives.
This is such a good question. Thank you, Jane. I think the number one thing is I don't ask my kids to do anything that I wouldn't do myself.
Yeah, it's the old practice what you preach,
yeah,
for sure.
For both minimalism and plant-based.
But a huge benefit that we have is we decided early on when Siri was a blubber that this is what we were going to work towards.
Yeah.
So they pretty much just grew up on it.
And so Seth and Ruby at that stage were quite young as well. They were like 3 and 5, and Siri was obviously a baby. So they don't know anything else. And Winnie, we have been plant-based since before Winnie was born, so 5 years ago. So we've had a long time to do it.
So we're the gatekeepers.
One thing I will say, just a disclaimer, is I do not restrict my children when they're out. If they want to try something at a party or at someone else's home, I really don't stress about it, because it's important to me that the kids have a really healthy attitude towards food. In saying that, I know that they do not tend to like foods that are high dairy and things like that, just because they're not used to it. So it works out well. But you know, their lunchboxes really don't look any different to every other kid's lunchbox, even if they're plant-based. So we keep it really simple.
And as far as the older kids, like most things in life, knowledge is power, and you have the questions that kids ask.
Yeah.
They'll ask, why don't we eat meat? Well, that's a good question. Or where does this meat come from? And we tell them the truth. We don't hide it or anything like that.
So obviously we tell our kids the truth. They find out information on their own. Our eldest son Seth, he actually did a project on how agriculture affects the environment, and so he is happy to learn things himself and make his own decisions. To be honest, if all of our kids didn't end up either vegan or minimalist, I would not be that worried. They can choose their own path, but hopefully maybe they'll take some of what they've experienced in their childhood and carry that through to their adulthood.
So next question, were you both always minimalist, or who got who on board and how? Well, that's pretty simple. I should say we both came from a family of abundance.
So both of our families really love abundance.
Yep.
So they are not minimalists at all.
So when Sarah and I first met, I had things in my life that I didn't really know why I had things in life, and that I didn't even like. That Sarah educated me and persuaded me.
So when we
taught me about minimalism.
First dating, he had all these pictures that were from his nan's place, which was really nice, except he didn't actually like the pictures. And I'm like, oh, do you like those? And he's like, no, I don't. I'm like, oh, well, you should just get rid of them. And he's like, but what are we going to put there? And I'm like, well, we can just leave it.
A valid question, don't you think?
Leave it blank until you find something you do want. So he definitely was not a minimalist. I have always tended to err on the side of minimalism, but it's still obviously been a journey to get to this point.
Absolutely. And I mean, once I started to see the benefits of the minimalist lifestyle, it just naturally became like a snowball. I enjoyed the freeness that it gives you.
So I've never had to like push him. He's learnt on he made those choices on his own.
But to answer the question, we weren't always minimalists, but Sarah was the one that persuaded me. Next question. How long did it take you to become so minimal? You are an inspiration.
Aww,
and we
Kira.
are only at the start of our journey, but it feels like we will never get there. Any tips?
That's such a great question. And if you haven't already seen my best tips for getting started, I'll link that video down below. But I think that's something we need to remember when we're talking about either just decluttering in general or minimalism, is that you're always going to be bringing new stuff into your home. And so don't ever feel like you're going to get to this point of like, yep, I've decluttered everything and now I'm never going to have to do that again. That's just not how it's going to work. So it's always just a constant state of, hey, are we still using this, and going through it. And once you sort of restrict the flow of stuff coming in, it will get easier and easier as time goes on. So I would say, obviously Siri's turning 7 this year, and I would say it's probably been her life that things have been slowly getting smaller and smaller.
I would say at the beginning of the relationship, so...
Oh yeah, for him probably.
9 years?
Yeah, probably 9 years all up, but 7 years, and then probably even in the last 3 years, particularly when we decided to move state, that was when I was like, hey, I'm not moving anything that is not ultra necessary.
Yeah. Next question. Okay, my biggest issue is clothes. How did you get your wardrobe pared down to such a small amount? Are you both kind of minimalist by nature, or was this something that either of you struggled with? I love my clothes, but I would like to seriously get rid of half of them, but I just can't seem to do it. Advice, please?
Okay, this is such a good question, but probably a disclaimer I'd say for both of us is that neither of us particularly love clothes.
Well, firstly, let's just say we already made a video about this, so if you haven't seen it yet, we'll link it below, so definitely check that out.
Yeah. So some of the things that I would suggest, which are in some of my other videos, but would you buy it today? If it doesn't suit you, fit you, if you don't like it, let it go. If it's not, sometimes I think people hold on to things because it's like their only good jacket or their only dress to wear out. And if you don't like it, it's okay to let that go and then be on the lookout to find something new.
That was a process between us. I had lots of things in abundance in my closet. It was huge.
Oh my God, he had a safari suit, people, and golf pants.
Why
Golf
wouldn't you?
pants.
You never know when you'll go on a safari.
He doesn't golf.
Oh, God. Yep. But that was a process. We had fun.
It was good.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Next question. Tell us how you chose the car that you did.
Yes.
Also, what are your long-term plans for travel, early retirement, yes, please,
Yes, bring it.
etc. Curious.
Okay. You should answer about the car.
Okay. So, at the time before we got the car, we had a Honda Odyssey, which obviously is a 7-seater for those that didn't know. And we had it continually break down and get degraded, and it just had a impending $5,000
It needed
failure
transmission.
coming up. But there was other issues as well. So anyway, so we knew that we had to get a new car. If we had lots of money, we would love to get a Tesla.
Yes.
Because that's our
One day.
goal. We've got a Model 3 reservation, but putting that aside, we can't buy that right now. So we looked around for something that was environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
So there's no electric car within the budget and the needs that we had. So we looked at the hybrids, and there was a little car called a Toyota Prius V, which seats 7 people, to everyone's surprise. In the States, FYI, the Prius V doesn't have the 2 back seats, but in Australia it does. So that is a win.
And it's super economical, it's easy to keep clean, it has fully articulating seats so you can get kids into the back from both sides, and the anchor points are on the back of the chair, which means you can articulate all the seats whilst you've got a baby seat in it or a booster seat in it. So all of those things were a big win for us with that car.
Yep, and for those that are wondering what economical means, theoretically, we can get 1,000 kilometers to one tank. Realistically, from what we do right now, we could push it to 800 kilometers easy. So to answer your next question, what about travel and early retirement? Well, early retirement, yes, please. That was the whole point of getting out of debt as soon as possible.
So we are planning for obviously our long-term retirement savings. We have a different system here in Australia called superannuation. And so we put money towards that. And obviously we live as, you know, we keep our expenses as small as possible so that we can save for the future and for travel.
Well, we have lots of travel plans.
Yes.
Including one next year in 2020, which is probably the biggest one.
Yes. We would really, Caleb and I have been married for 10 years next year, and we would really love to take the kids to Disney. So that is our plan at the moment.
USA. Okay.
If you guys are in California, let us know.
Next. Hi from Germany. Thank you for your inspiration videos. Where will your toddler sleep when he gets older?
Yes, good question.
How did you get your bathroom clean?
Yep.
Clean items. I guess with 7 people, it's an everyday work to keep it clean. It is.
Yep.
I personally hate it to clean the bathroom right after cleaning windows. I'm sure you share that sentiment.
I feel you. Because my windows also I have to work on every day because there's just so many. First question, we get this question a lot, and I feel so silly that I didn't film it. Hamish, our 18-month-old, he sleeps on a toddler trundle that pulls out sideways from our bed. So he just sleeps beside us. He still wakes during the night. And so it means less disruption for the bigger kids. And
What about when he's older?
when he's older, he'll move into some sort of trundle, bed, bunk situation with Seth.
Yep. Next question.
Oh,
Now we're moving on to YouTube.
oh, YouTube.
I'm very curious about your journey to debt-free life. That would probably need a separate video. Yes.
Yes, Anna.
I'd like to know all the deets.
Okay, so definitely we will do a full video about how we got debt-free and how we live and stay debt-free. But
How about a nutshell version?
a nutshell version is we followed the Dave Ramsey baby steps, and we still do. And we were gazelle intense. If you know Dave Ramsey,
yes.
we powered through for like 2 years to pay down all of our debt and to pay down a huge amount of our mortgage.
Sarah was the gazelle and I was the hippo that was trying to understand the gazelle.
He was reluctant at first.
Because I was a bit concerned at the start, thinking, well, we're not saving anything. And Sarah's like, well, we're paying off the mortgage.
And
so
the
it's
debt.
like saving.
Yeah.
And the debt.
And there was just no point in saving money, getting like, with the economy as it is, like getting next to no interest when we were paying, you know, reasonable interest, but still higher interest on our loans and our mortgage.
So looking back at it now, I am so thankful for Sarah's great wisdom.
Yes.
And
there you go.
we are already reaping the benefits
In
of that.
saying that, we were both on the same team. Like he
Oh, yeah.
was in agreement with me.
I was just like, well, we haven't saved anything.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a mind shift for him.
Next question. How and where did you meet?
Yeah.
Good question. Are you doing the Dave Ramsey 10 steps with your finances?
Yes.
You mentioned no longer have a mortgage. That's
Yep.
right. So firstly, how did we meet?
So we met in an online forum.
Internet!
And then we actually met at church because we were going to the same church at the time. So that's how we met. And
The internet's so cool. That's how you can get to know us now.
It was for
And that's
young
how
Christians.
we got to
just
know
so you know.
each other. So it all
There you
works
go.
out in the end.
It wasn't like Tinder. Oh, it was Tinder wasn't even a thing then.
No,
but it wasn't.
there was
it
no
wasn't
swiping.
that. There was
Just
no
clicking.
swiping or anything
no
like
swipes,
that.
just click.
So Dave Ramsey, obviously I just said that. We definitely followed Dave Ramsey steps. We still do. At the moment, it's really not worth it for us to have a mortgage because we don't know exactly where we want to be, but we still save like we do have a mortgage. So
Yeah.
anything extra above the bare minimum goes straight into savings, and everything we made on the sale of our house sits as a nest egg ready to earning us interest, and it's invested there. Yes.
Yep.
Huh.
Next question. How long have you been minimalist and vegan?
Yeah. Great question.
Were you both each of those things when you met? If not, what made you decide to? Well, firstly, I would say I was not a minimalist or vegan. Were you minimalist? You
I would
definitely
say
weren't a vegan.
I was definitely not a vegan, but if you've seen my vegan story, I have a condition, we'll link that below. I have a condition called sphincter body dysfunction, which means that my body can't process animal fat anymore. So I would still have very low fat dairy and almost no meat anyway. So I was living quite a vegan-ish lifestyle.
Yeah.
But then when I was pregnant with Winnie, we made a full change and we watched some documentaries and...
Well, the vegan story will explain it in more detail, so definitely watch that
video.
But to answer the question, no, we both weren't vegan or minimalist. Well, you were
Sort of.
more than a minimalist than me, which we kind of
But
answered that question before.
I wouldn't call it minimalist. I would just...
What made
more
you
than-
decide to watch the video? Next question, minimalism and kids. Not really a question, but can you share some tips on transitioning kids to a minimal and more simple lifestyle? Struggling to make this change with my 6-year-old. Thanks.
That is such a good question. And again, I feel like it's a whole video, but just to, nutshell version of that would be, again, set an example of you letting go of your things, and kids will often find that easier. working through and just showing them the benefits of things. So whether it be like a toy rotation system that you try out first, or not actually getting rid of things straight away, but transitioning to them to feeling, hey, if we take some of these toys out, we'll have more room to play, we'll be able to focus on the things that we have a bit better, it'll be quicker to clean up, and show them some of those benefits. But even now, like, some of my kids tend to be more maximists than minimalists, and so I try very hard to create ways for them to express themselves. So whether that be like a drawer all of their own that they can fill to their heart's desire with whatever they want, and then they clear it out in their own time, those sorts of things. I want them to appreciate some of the aspects of minimalism, even if that's not the tendency or how they end up choosing to live.
Yeah, exactly. Next, really need help in dealing with paper, tax related, bills, junk, catalogs, etc. Thank you. Well,
that is a great question. I promise the video is coming.
How do you budget and manage your finances? With the cost of living so high, it's really admirable how you do this on one income. Would love any hints and tips you may have. So yes, she already said it, we're on one income. We just live as tight as possible so we can have a maximum life.
Yeah.
To some people, it doesn't make much sense, but
I think just all round frugality. So anytime we spend money, we're asking ourselves, is this the best use of our money? Can we do it cheaper? All those sorts of things.
Or do we really need it?
Getting out of debt, reducing the amount of stuff that you have to pay.
Waiting for specials.
All those things all create how we do it, and how we make it work. Also, like, I remember hearing a quote that said, you know, a penny saved, like the old a penny saved is a penny earned, is actually a penny saved is 2 pennies earned, because you didn't have to work for it and you don't have to spend it. And so there are things that you can do when you're staying at home living on one income that I would not be able to do if I was working. If you decide to work, that is awesome. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I have so many lovely friends and family. I'm not against that in any way. This is just what works for us at the moment, and this is how we make it work.
Next. Would love to hear more about your faith and how you incorporate that into your family, relationships, and goals.
Oh, that's such a good question. I think that's from Rosalie.
Well, I guess to try and answer it in a similar way to minimalists and vegan is we were both Christians when we met.
Yeah.
So we both brought up in a household of knowing about God.
Yep.
But as we all do, we have to make our own decisions. You know, the old saying that God doesn't have grandchildren, only children. And I was brought up that, you know, that's something that you personally have to make yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how we treat that with our own kids. It's a strong part of our life. We read the Bible daily.
Yeah.
We both come from, like I said, a family that are Christians.
So I think for us, in relation to goals and family and relationships for us, this whole lifestyle gives us more time and more freedom to spend doing what we feel God's called us to do, because we have access to more finances and access to more time, because I'm not tied up cleaning the house or having to do as much at home. So I'm free to, you know, we are free to take on the kids' church at our church and work in other ministries and donate to ministries that are really important to us.
Okay, I hope that answers the question. Next, how much money do you save being a minimalist? Is it less stressful for you? Well, I'll answer the last question first. Yes, it is less stressful. Absolutely.
Less stressful.
Once you have less things, there's less things for you to worry about
Yeah.
and have to cart places or
Clean it,
etc.
Yeah.
And do you save money being a minimalist? I would say absolutely, because you really do change your mindset of the need to having to either upgrade all the time, buy the latest and greatest.
Keep up with the Joneses.
To just being content with what you have, keeping within your means. And it can be a slow process to change that mindset, but once you do, you do save money.
I don't think the two are necessarily like you could be a minimalist without being frugal, and you can be frugal without being a minimalist.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
For us, we just find that, you know, we're prepared to wait for things. We're prepared to see if we actually need it. We're prepared to leave a space empty till we find the exact right thing that we want to go there. The other thing that we tend to do just with a minimalist mindset is to find things that have dual purpose. So before we buy something, well, you know, can we get something that's going to help with this and with that and that sort of thing. So then you're owning less things, and so every purchase is a bit more intentional.
So a real life example, just to be real and transparent, is going back to the car, is we were so close at buying a Tesla Model X. We looked at the price, we talked to insurance people, we put the numbers down, and we were ready to buy it. But the thing is, we had to go into debt, and we didn't want to. Once we had the feeling of no debt, we didn't want to go back. So we're delaying that gratification to saving up for stuff that you want. Okay, next. Hello, I'm from Germany.
Oh, Germany!
Lots of
so many
Germans.
German viewers.
So sorry about my English. I visit your channel and I wish I also could chance my family, 4 persons, 2019 into a healthy minimalist family like you are. It would be great to have a German subtitle. One question, are you Christian people who loves God from heart? Much greetings from Germany. Answer the last question first. Absolutely, we love God with all our heart.
Yes.
And that's something that we teach, like I said before, teach our children.
Yes.
As far as subtitles concerned, YouTube is fantastic at automatically creating English subtitles, which doesn't help you. As far as German, we don't know.
We don't know. It's
maybe
at the moment,
down the line.
It's an expensive thing to have done, but we're not saying no. We just haven't worked out a way to do it just yet. But we're open to ideas if you have any.
Next. What's your thought of homeschooling? Do you people, I'm guessing Australians people, homeschool over there? Have a wonderful year, 2019. Greetings from Oregon. Thank you, Ingrid.
Hi, Ingrid. We love homeschooling.
We actually did homeschooling, with the 2 children.
With Winnie and Siri.
In our last place.
Before we moved down here. We live in a really small town, and they have a small Christian school, and I call it like the homeschooling without homeschooling, because they have like a really good tight community. There's like less than 300 children, and the school is from pre-kindy to grade 12. So we are just in a stage where this is what we think God's called us to do. But I love the idea. I love everything about homeschooling. We'd definitely do it.
Next, have you had any pushback or ever felt like you needed to justify your minimalist lifestyle to family or friends? Who are your favorite influences in the minimalist community? And what literature or videos do you recommend when starting your journey? I follow the Minimalist and Joshua Becker. Thanks from Texas, USA.
Oh, okay. Josh Becker and the Minimalist, 2 of my absolute favorites.
But the other one is Matt
Devella. Please, if you haven't watched his channel, he's my absolute favorite. I'll link some of my other favorites down there. Mini Mum, she's a mum from New Zealand. The Minimalist Mum, she's got heaps of tips for kids. And Darcy Isabella, she's also got a large family. So those are 3 people that I also love.
As far as justifying being a minimalist, well, quick little side note is we consider you all friends, and we get a lot of need to justify our lifestyle on YouTube. Welcome to YouTube. Negative comments.
Yes.
People who come to watch minimalist videos and find a minimalist lifestyle and think it's boring.
Or cold, or abusive to children. Yeah, we've heard it all. So YouTubers, we definitely hear it from them. As far as our friends and family, I don't think that they have any big problem with it. We often get like the side comments, like the jokes about my house being super clean and OCD,
which is not. I'm more OCD than she is.
Don't come round to don't open the door to the study, Sarah, you'll die, because there's so much stuff in there.
Don't come to our house, you'll die.
So those sorts of things, I think they're all tongue in cheek. And just for the record, I never have a problem being in someone's home who enjoys abundance. I think I love being surrounded by what other people love. at the end of the day, I don't have to take care of that stuff. It's not up to me to clean it and maintain it. So if that's what brings them joy, I'm all for it.
Next.
Oh,
How did you and your husband meet?
Oh, you've answered that.
What does your husband do for a living? You have mentioned working with the children's ministry at your church. Is that volunteer work or are you paid staff? What denomination is your church? I hope I'm not being too nosy, but I guess you asked for questions. No, you're not nosy, Joy.
They're all great questions.
So we've already answered how we met.
live.
Internet.
What
does your husband do for a living? I work for a global IT company doing remote tech support.
And he works from home, so
just to be clear though,
in the office.
I don't deal with the laptops and desktops. I deal with the machines that run businesses,
Servers,
governments, military, you name it, the big guys.
The big guns. That's what he does.
We are absolutely not paid to do children's ministry.
It would be great if we were.
We are volunteers.
We are volunteers.
The denomination of our church is technically Australian Christian Churches, which is
like a Pentecostal.
Pentecostal, originally come from AOG, Assemblies of God.
Yeah.
You are not being nosy. Thank you for the questions, Joy.
Thanks for the questions, Joy.
Next. Can you share your meal planning system and do you have any New Year's resolutions?
That's a great question.
Yes, we do. We actually have been practicing it every single morning.
Yes. We want to walk more on the beach.
On the beach, which is just over there.
Just over there.
Which we didn't do for 6 months.
Yeah. We did go for walks on the beach and we did go to the beach.
Often, but now we want to go every single day.
And so far we're doing really well. I also want to drink more water and I also just want to make sure that I have my own private time reading the Bible because I read with the kids and we do stuff for kids church and all of that, but just my own quiet time in the Bible.
And your meal planning system, what's going on there?
My meal planning system. I do have one video which I'll link down below where I explain.
It's a bit deceptive though because we like to hide little Easter eggs in our grocery hauls.
But I'll link it down.
We used to do grocery hauls every week and then to try and spice it up would hide little nuggets. So if you haven't seen the old grocery hauls, go check them out because you might find unexpected
I think I'll probably do a
pleasantries.
dedicated video to how I do it because it's seriously the easiest thing in the world. And it starts with writing down every single meal my family likes.
Next question. I would love you to do a kitchen tour and some family meals. Yes, kitchen tour.
We filmed a kitchen tour one time, but our cupboards are so old and dark that it was just you couldn't see it properly. So the new video, I'm going to pull everything out and like really show you like what's in my business.
So it's
coming, Lucy. It's coming. I promise.
And family meals, we've just started doing them, and we've been getting great feedback from you guys. So we're definitely going to keep that up. Next.
Thanks, Luce.
Where does your baby sleep? So many people ask that.
We're so sorry it wasn't in the video. There you go.
What does your husband do for work? I just answered that.
She didn't know.
No. Did you work before you had children?
I assume that's to me.
Yes, hang on. What did you do? Where do you live?
Okay, so we live in regional New South Wales. The nearest big place to us is Byron Bay, where like Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth live.
Matt Damon?
Matt Damon. Anyway.
Sorry, Matt Damon, we're out of time.
I apologize to Matt Damon, we're out of time. I want to apologize to Matt Damon, we ran out of time. We will reschedule him. Unfortunately, we are totally out of time.
Sorry.
So that's near where we live. It's a small town, beach town.
Yep.
So before I had children, I worked in human resources.
She was a HR manager.
I was a HR manager.
She knew her business.
And yeah, I loved it, and I still use the skills that I learned there.
To manage me.
To manage a family and a kids' church. So yeah, that's the answers.
Next one. Can you please do more what I eat and your meals?
Yes, you can. Yes. It's so funny that people want to know this because I hate cooking so much.
Tell me what you eat.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll do more if you like it.
If you haven't seen them, we've already done 2 and we're personally proud of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can keep them up. Okay, next. How can I motivate my kids for minimalism? And how do you plan your shopping and your weekly meals? Now that kind of comes into the
I think we've answered both of those questions really, how we help motivate them. But I think there's a lot more that I could say. So both of those I'll do a video on.
Next question. In what church do you go? Do you believe in Jesus?
We do.
I like your family. We like you.
It's more from Germany.
Greetings from Germany.
Okay.
And God bless you and your family.
This is really going well towards getting the German subtitles, I promise, guys.
So yes, we do believe in Jesus.
We do believe in Jesus.
He is the rock and foundation of our life.
And we've answered all the rest. So thank you for your questions.
Next.
How
many square feet or square meters is your home? Can you show us your deep cleaning schedule and daily cleaning schedule? How long does it take to clean with a smaller home? I am so inspired to downsize and minimize more.
Sandy, great questions. You guys have, all these questions have been great.
Nailed it.
Now, I think I tried to work it out. I think it's about 800 square feet because I tried to work it out.
What was our previous house?
1,300 square feet because it was a townhouse. So this one is slightly smaller. But we had 3 bathrooms at our last house, and so definitely.
What a luxury! Now we got 1.
3 toilets. I mean.
3 toilets and 2
2
bathrooms.
2 bathrooms and 3
There we go.
toilets.
1 toilet, 1 bathroom.
And that part is definitely way easier to clean. I will definitely show. I'm definitely going to do a video because how I do my deep cleaning is a bit weird. I do it in like 10-minute bursts.
She's a fantastic cleaner. I think she's amazing. I edit these videos and I see her do amazing things.
There you go, guys.
Next question.
Next question.
Money savings due to minimalism. Sorry.
That's a great question, Shan. Yeah. I think we touched on that before. Like I said, I don't think the two are, definitely you can be minimalist without being frugal, but definitely, like I said before.
Next one. How do you handle kids' artwork and projects? I have kids that have tons of paper clutter.
That's so hard.
They like hanging pictures all over the walls and keeping all the projects. Also, we have so many toys, I find it hard to decide where to keep the toys. Each kid room has toys and we have a toy room. I want to make the playroom into an office, but some toys will then go into the living room. Maybe I have 4 kids and they are in 3 rooms. The eldest 2 share and have all the Lego in their room, but the younger 2 have some Lego too, but more girly. I just feel like the toys are spread out. So now there's a lot of toy talk there. I would recommend go watching our toy storage minimalist video first.
That's such a good question. And none of that is abnormal. Like kids, they're obviously just at home. When they're at home, how cool is that? They feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
So in a really quick nutshell, without addressing it too specifically, like I said, in my paper clutter video, I'm gonna address how I personally manage kids' pictures. And I think a little bit of that in a nutshell is acknowledging the work that's gone into it is just as important as keeping it. So taking that time to love it and let them tell you and let them show you.
Put it on the fridge before it gets
so
stored.
Just finding some sort of routine with that, but I'll touch more on that. With the toys, whatever you decide, even if whatever you try first doesn't work, we've tried things that just didn't work and set different priorities, but I would suggest, realize that this is a journey. We're not going to change it all overnight, and work with the kids to find a way so that we can make play, which I think is super important, a way that we can make play easier, quicker to clean up, and happier for all. So a slow process towards that goal is my suggestion.
Next.
What
kind of plates, cookware are you using? Now I think that will get answered in the kitchen tour.
My favorite things are my blender and my slow cooker. I could probably live with just those two.
But a nutshell version is we use plastic IKEA plates and cups.
I know, don't judge me.
We get judged a lot for lots of things, including plastic.
Yeah.
We hate plastic too, but only one good thing about plastic is it lasts forever. So if you can look after it, you can make it last forever.
So we've had the same plastic set of cups, bowls and plates for I think all, I would say close to 8 or 9 years. And
they don't break.
They don't break. I've hand washed so they're not going into the dishwasher. And so, yeah, but we'll send you a full kitchen tour.
Next. Living close to the beach, do you find you and the kids spend more time there? Or does it create extra mess? Example, sand and wet, sandy clothing. We are moving in 6 months and then considering moving closer to the water. So let me just say, part of my heritage or upbringing, you can say, as well as living in abundance, there is not much love for the beach or
Zero
the sand.
love. My mother-in-law, I love her to death, but she hates the beach.
And so, as far as when Sarah first met me, I hated sand because it got in everywhere.
It still does.
Obviously it still does, but I am way more accepting of the beach. In fact, I love going there without my shoes on, which I would not normally do when Sarah first met me. But part of our, like we said, we go there every morning now, walk on the beach.
Yeah.
And we absolutely love it. Messiness, well, we do it without shoes. We walk over there with thongs. And then when we get out of the water, there's actually a shower and tap there. We wash that off. By the time we walk back home, which is what, 100 meters away, our feet are dry. And if it's anything excess, we can jump in the shower and
rinse it off. Yeah, once you get a routine going, it's okay. So there is going to be wet clothes and there is going to be sand. We have a robot vacuum that really helps.
Robots are awesome.
We leave our shoes downstairs. The kids really love it and we do use it a lot. And once you find your routine, it will be okay. It's worth it.
Next.
Except I found a crab in my shoe the other day and it scared the...
Oh, crabs. Speaking of crabs, we noticed crabs finding their way into the pool.
Yeah, and because we have a pool, instead of the kids going in the beach, they go in the pool, which is fine, but the crabs crawl in there sometimes too.
And they die because of the chlorine. Sad face.
Yeah.
Next, how do you use minimalism with finances and getting out of debt? Do you use any type of method like the barefoot investor? We did touch on this. Dave Ramsey is the man that we followed.
And we'll do a whole video on how we got out of debt.
Stay tuned for more
Stay
deets.
tuned.
Next, kids' wardrobes, are they capsule? How many items in your kids' wardrobe? Weird one, but how much Tupperware and reusable drink bottles do you have?
Okay, so kids' wardrobes, are they capsule?
We've done a video.
I've got a video, but technically no, they're not. I do use a trick where I try and buy plain bottoms for everybody because then they'll mix with any sort of shirt. But I follow a method more like, okay, every kid has one drawer and about that much hanging space. And so as long as it fits in that much hanging space in that one drawer, they can have as much as they like. Just because, particularly with the girls, they have like a range of different things. They have skirts, they have dresses, they have shorts and t-shirts. So it's fairly flexible and they all go through stages of having a little bit more or a little bit less, but I keep it fairly open.
Now, do we have the lifetime warranty Tupperware?
We do not have any. I think maybe one thing from Tupperware, but I know that Americans call like everything plastic Tupperware. So it will be in the kitchen tour.
Kitchen tour.
But drink bottles are my nemesis. I've bought I think every different kind of drink bottle and I'm still yet to find one that I like.
I have a glass drink bottle that I love.
Here's a glass, and we have a, what's it called? Nangaline, I think is the brand.
Oh yes, I bought that in Canada. Made
like
in the USA. Apparently you can drop it at helicopters and go
it'll
climbing
bounce. And
down
it's
the mountain.
great.
It won't break.
And it's what I take, if we're going to just go out to the beach or whatever, I just take that one. But
it's got a nice big hole.
If you've got any suggestions, please leave them down below. I want one that I can freeze water in and it won't break, preferably.
Next.
Back
to school frugality, please. Not really important, but also, where does the toddler sleep?
Zoe, I'm sorry I started the video. You know now the mystery's out there. Back to school frugality, that sounds like an awesome video. I will get on it. My nutshell again for you guys, you don't have to buy everything new.
Nope.
That's it. Regardless of what they'll try and tell you, you don't need a new lunchbox and a new school bag every year.
Now, What I am personally keen to hear is, what do you think of these videos? Do you like the Q&A?
Would you like a live Q&A, people?
Which would be scary for us, but we are willing to
We're
do
willing
it for
to
you.
do it. It's one of
Only
our
if you want
New
it.
Year's resolutions to give it a try.
Only if you want it.
We
So if you want it,
absolutely
you have to comment below and tell us if you want it. Don't add any questions though. Save it for the live stream if you want it to do it.
Yes. So just say live stream down below. That'd be great. I had no idea that YouTube was going to be so fun as far as connecting with people. I feel like I have made in this last 4 months so many like genuine friends, people I care about, who I love to hear from.
She talks about you guys.
I do.
Off
And I
camera.
talk about them
Often.
like you are my besties. Jane and I, like we hang out. If you guys ever do want to hang out, please hit me up down below. But yeah, thank you guys. We love your questions. If you want us to do a live stream where we can answer specific questions, we'd love to do that. And if you're new, which you're probably not if you watched it all the way to the end, please subscribe, like this video.
But if you did watch all the way to the end, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. Subscribe, watch some other videos that you haven't seen.
And
we will see you in the next one.